what makes me sad is Hollywood is going to read this and say, oh, see, people don't really want meaning. They don't really want theme. They want 2.5 hours of effects and a roller coaster ride. Welcome to Church of the Masses Radio, the intersection of faith and culture. And this week I am going to be reviewing, in my job as sewer inspector for the people of God, I went and dragged myself to see the new Avengers movie. This movie racked up $347 million domestic box office in its opening weekend. It's an astounding number. I mean, it's mind-boggling. Yeah, I promised I would review Avengers End Game. I need to have a name of full disclosure. I'm not a big fan of the comic book genre. I think that it is very odd phenomenon of watching entertainment that really is geared towards children and yet having grown-ups be consumed by it. And I can't quite figure out what that's about, but this is a genre where people wear tights and they have masks and they have superpowers, and then they fight very clear evil villains who just want to kill and maim everyone, and there's no nuance or subtext. It's all very flat on the nose, and this is the stuff of children's entertainment. And yet, in our generation, and a couple generations now, they have dominated the movie box office. So I thought it was dying for a while there, but then you had a few in the Wonder Woman and Black Panther a lot in the last 2 years, did a huge business. The Captain Marvel now with the new woman in it did huge business, and now this one is absolutely insane, $350 million in its first 5 days. So okay, well, the movie is absolutely dependent on you having seen the last movie, which was Infinity Wars. So if you didn't see Infinity Wars, which I caught on television, I didn't watch the whole thing, but then Avengers End Game will make very little sense to you. And for me, I was out of the loop in quite a bit of it, but I managed to come up to speed. Having said that, it's pretty much every superhero in the entire Marvel Comics landscape makes an appearance in this. So people like, Captain Marvel's there, and Spider-Man, and obviously Iron Man, and Black Widow, and oh my goodness, the brother and sisters who do their little, or the sister who does her little making things turn red and float around. I don't even know what her name is, but so many of them. The Jeremy Renner character with the bows and arrows, just every single one. And one of the things I was thinking watching this was how much money they laid out in major stars to come in and do a little cameo, teeny little scenes here and there, because just so everybody could get some face time. So that is a big part of Avengers End Game, which is, if you like the Marvel Comics world, then this is all of your favorite comic book people making an appearance and, kicking some butt of creatures from a foreign planet. And that you get to watch that for 3 hours. The movie is really long. And so there's that. It's just cameos of all of these people. I don't know what I was expecting. I thought when I heard how much money it was making that it had brought something else to the table that was going to make the movie more rich. But indeed, it's basically one of these apocalyptic scenarios where they have to try to save everybody who got killed in the last episode. So I guess in Avengers Infinity War, this evil guy named Thanos killed half the population of Earth. And so what they're going to do is go travel through time and go back and reset the clock and have everybody come to life again. And so that's basically the premise. And I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it's all again, if you sit there and too much say, wait a minute, a time machine that they figured out in one afternoon, all of these things you you can, this is not the point in comic book movies. You're not supposed to be rational. But what bothers me more about the movie is I'm trying to figure like what was it saying thematically about human life or heroism, friendship that would unite together to save the planet. And I have to honestly say nothing. The movie isn't trying to do anything more than be a 2 and 45 minute frame for superhero special effects. And some little funny lines here and there where they drop that you're supposed to go, oh, that's so funny for that character to say that, right? But in terms of actual meaning, what in the world is going on here? Because there really isn't anything going on. There doesn't seem to be any enduring theme of about human life, human experience. It's all about spectacle. It's like a 2.5 hour ride on a roller coaster. And if that's your bag, okay, here you are. But I have friends who absolutely are consumed with this genre. They take it very seriously, and they really think it is more morality tales, very clear black and white morality tales. And these are Christians who work in the business, and they absolutely believe that the comic book genre thing is a sign of hope in the world. And I don't think so. I think I worry that when people are sitting there, like people my age, packing the theaters, I'm in my 50s, packing the theaters to watch this absurd sequence of explosions and punching and creatures with their powers and everybody zonking each other for, as I say, almost nearly 3 hours. And you say, and there's nothing there by way of helping me live my life. There's no deeper thing to take away. There's no, it's like, okay, they're friends and they're gonna fight this thing together. Big deal. But when you say, okay, if people my age are watching this, who's reading Crime and Punishment, right? Who's doing that? I can't stop thinking those thoughts. To tell you the truth, I was bored a lot because the pattern of the movie is the group of superheroes that, if you know and you like them, Captain America and everybody, Hulk and everybody, they sit around and they talk about their problem of trying to save the universe. And so you have these long dialogue scenes where everybody has to get served. All the actors have to get 1 or 2 lines in. And then you go to intense action scenes where they fight the evildoers. And then you go back to another dialogue scene. And so I found myself kind of like almost falling asleep in the dialogue scenes because I really didn't care about any of these people. They're not really real people to me. They are people who have superpowers and fight galactic villains on a weekly basis. This is not something that I can relate to in my life. And Aristotle said in his Poetics that one of the key aspects of story is relatability, right? That the audience has to be saying, the reader of a story, the person going to a play, they have to be saying, this could be me. This could be me. And then they can profit from the lessons in the story vicariously. But when I'm sitting there watching Avengers End Game, it could never be me. I'm never going to be Black Widow or the Hulk or anything near them. I'm never going to face an intergalactic villain the way they are and be able to call on my magic hammer to do away with them. This is nothing like what real human life is. And so then I have to say, so what is the appeal here? What is it? And again, I think it is the natural human appeal, instinct or desire to see spectacle. That we want to see something new. We want to see something that we haven't seen before. And the idea of, wow, this movie is promising that you're going to see the superheroes in a new way that you haven't seen them before, and you're going to see all of them, and they're all going to be in this movie. We're going to jam-pack 20 superheroes in one movie, and that's the new thing. And so that's a very low bar for everyone turning out and forking over so much money to support this thing. And what makes me sad is Hollywood is going to read this and say, oh, see, people don't really want meaning. They don't really want theme. They want 2.5 hours of effects and a roller coaster ride. So is it harmful? You say, should I let my kids go? You could let your kids go. But what I'm worried about is the grown-ups who go. Grown-ups, if you're going to this, then who's reading Crime and Punishment? That's what I want to know. This movie isn't going to move you closer to God. It's not going to move you closer to your duty. It's not going to move you closer to being a better parent or a friend or a daughter or son. It's just going to fill up 2.5, 3 hours of your life and take $30 of your money if you go and watch it with someone else. And so, do I think, it's being harm. It's going to be harmful if I go? No, it's not going to be harmful, except insofar as you've just wasted 3 hours of your life.
Virgin Most Powerful Radio, sharing the gospel with clarity and charity.